only reason, the only one reason you should be in a non-monogamous relationship. What does it mean to you when I say that? What are you thinking? What are you anticipating? There's only one reason I should be in a non-monogamous relationship. It's a catchy title. It makes a lot of sense. I'll explain to you why in a moment. And the paradox is, it's one reason that you should be in any form of relationship. Particularly the complexity or the layers of non-monogamy. Now, some would say that monogamy is just as complicated, and I would agree. It can be just as difficult, just as layered, because relationships are challenging. You've got two different people coming from two different worlds with two different sets of history, interpretations of the world, values, belief systems, etc. But this was asked of me the other day about, should I go into this non-monogamous relationship? We've been married for many years. We're looking at exploring our options. And I said, yeah, why not? But I also said, are you sure? And we were conversing deeper into why would I be in a non-monogamous relationship? If the reason you are exploring non-monogamy or any container, any relationship container that is different to what you have now, be sure that you are exploring that for the right reasons. You are not coming from a place of deficit and pain. You are not coming from a place of, I'm trying to fix this relationship. You're not coming from a place of, I'm broken, we are broken, he or she is broken. You are not coming from a place of, if I enter into this new relationship container, it will make our relationship better. There's one reason you should go into a new type or structure of relationship. And that's because your relationship is already solid and healthy. All areas of your relationship are healthy. You're connected in those areas, emotionally, physically, sexually. You align on your values, on your ideologies. Of course, you can have difference of opinions and different belief systems, but the way you communicate is healthy. It's respectful. You accept the other person for who they are. You're not bringing in a new relationship dynamic, whether it's non-monogamy or monogamy, because you're trying to fix something. When you do that, you break the container because you're not actually addressing the core issues. You're not addressing the real reasons as to why the relationship isn't functioning. And changing the dynamic or the container, distracting yourself with more or less sex or whatever it may be, or the novelty of new partners, particularly in a non-monogamous container, it's a distraction. Only enter that space and make that decision when you and your partner are actually solid. So maybe you're coming from monogamy. Maybe you're coming from being with your partner sexually and socially monogamous with your partner for a number of years. And you're in a really beautiful space. You care about each other, you see each other, you know that this is your person, you have fun together, you enjoy each other's company. There's no disdain there. You're not coming from old wounding and old trauma. It doesn't bubble up. You're not reactive with each other. But you're curious about exploring another container. That's a solid foundation to explore from. Monogamy and non-monogamy is not about right and wrong. It's about what works for you. Do I have an opinion or a belief system based on my own personal experience and the many thousands of people that I've worked with around non-monogamy and monogamy? Yeah, absolutely. For most people, intimate relationships don't work because most of us continue to come from old wounding that is forcing us to be reactive, and we're unwilling to work with our stuff. We're more willing to blame, shame, and project onto the other person as opposed to assume responsibility. It's one of the core reasons why many intimate partnerships, romantic intimate relationships, do not work, or there's no longevity there. Because we're unwilling to work with our stuff. We're unwilling to lift the veil, to immerse ourselves into the unknown. And so when we throw in the complication or the complexity, and they're two different things, the complexity is more layers. There's layers to peel back. The complications, well, that's another conversation. But when we throw that into the mix of a relationship, without being prepared to do the work, and we're just trying to distract ourselves from what is showing up in the relationship, all we're doing is adding fuel to a fire that's been burning, and it's going to cause more issues. So whatever decision you make around what relationship container you want to hold for yourself or you want to explore, ensure that you feel solid within yourself. Ensure that the relationship that you are in, that you find yourself in, is healthy, that you want to be there, that you're not just trying to fill gaps, distract yourself, numb the pain that you're avoiding. Be certain that you're clear. Be transparent in your communication. Be authentic in your gesturing. Be genuine in your expression, in who you are. Be just brutally honest, and be joyfully honest as well. But if you're coming from a place of our marriage is broken, we need to fix this, chances are you're only going to distance yourselves further. If you're already isolated, if you're already distanced in the relationship, and you throw the complications of another human being or human beings in there, whether it's emotional, sexual, a combination of both and more, chances are that it's going to distance you and your partner even more. Because if you're not working with the issues you currently have, throwing or placing more people in that dynamic and dealing with more personalities is probably going to amplify the pain and the dynamic that you already have. So if you already have issues of jealousy, yes, a non-monogamous container can bring them up even more, depending on who you are. And if you're not working with them with just the two of you, working with them with 3 or 4 or 5 people, or even more unknown, more uncertainty, more fear, aka more fear, it's going to be even more challenging to really work through that. If you do, it can be deeply rewarding for both of you, but there's got to be that commitment there. All this to say, do your inner work. Be responsible for yourself. Don't look excessively to outside means to feel whole or to feel at ease. Go within, lean into the difficulty and the challenge, and make decisions, big decisions around how you share your intimacy. Do your best to make that from a place of feeling whole, feeling connected, not feeling that you're coming from a place of deficit or sacrifice or scarcity or fear or pain. Then allow the relationship to flourish. Then when you encounter difficulty and challenges, because that's a very normal part of life, you'll be better equipped to deal with that. Non-monogamy or monogamy can be a beautiful exploration. Intimacy itself can be a profound exploration, and relationships, intimate romantic relationships, can be our greatest teachers. But if we run from what we are experiencing because it's too uncomfortable, chances are we will continue to run whenever it gets uncomfortable, irrespective of the dynamic that we find ourselves in. You may be distracted for a period of time. Sex can do that. Dopamine can do that. Novelty can do that. And you may find yourself in a position that you've always found yourself if you're avoiding dealing with your stuff. Pound blessings to you. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. And there are many thoughts on this. I'm open to all of them. See you soon.